Somebody said chef. That's not the word. And as far as recipes, to me, a recipe that's a French word for suggestion. Because if you're one of those people that follows it closely, you're not going to like to watch me because it's just a suggestion. And we had a guy on the show once, and I started to dump something in, and his eyes got really big, and I could see that he was one of those follow it right down the line. And you know, when I'm cooking at home, it's usually see what's in there and start throwing it. And most of the time, it turns out pretty good. Sometimes not. Our friends Wally and Jan are here. They've actually had this dinner. Wally broke a tooth on it, so there's a testimonial. But he has other teeth, so it wasn't that big of a deal. So we're browning some ground beef that will, what you do is all of this that we're gonna make is gonna end up going into the pumpkin, and the pumpkin will go into the oven, and then you'll actually serve it in the pumpkin itself. This is an old family recipe. I don't know whose family, but somebody's. And I think it wasn't your sister that she made it for company and didn't get the memo that you were supposed to cook everything first. So she had the raw hamburger and everything in the pumpkin, and then it wasn't pretty. So we're gonna take a little olive oil, and you're supposed to do onions. And why make your hands all stink when you can just get your Food City brand out of the freezer section? And that's about a half a bag, which to me looks about like an onion. So we'll get those going. But you know, you can do your own. Once again, it's just a suggestion. So then you get the pumpkin, and you carve out the pumpkin and take your top out. You might want it a little bigger than if you were doing a jack-o'-lantern, because since you're going to be actually serving it. And one little trick is after you cut it out, run you a little line down through there, and that way you know where to line it up instead of playing that game. And then hull out the guts, clean it out pretty good, because you're going to be actually eating part of that with your meal. Give the seeds to the kids and let them sort that mess out. And then you can toast them, 350 in the oven for about 15 minutes, or if you want to do it the slow way, about 250 for maybe an hour. You can put salt, garlic, hot sauce. Some people even use brown sugar or cinnamon to make it desserty. So I'll pass these around, and you can pass them around and have a few. Try those. Those are strictly salt, because no garlic for me. Okay, so we're gonna go from here. We also need rice. So why do it the hard way when you can get, have you seen these? Steamables? 4.5 minutes, 4 minutes in the microwave, and you got brown rice, you got white rice. So once again, make it easy. Okay, so we're sauteing and we're browning, and that's about brown, so let's cut that one way back and we'll let those two do their thing. All right, now let's get back to this thing. So we're gonna put our onions in there. Oh, wait, nope, yep. Almost messed it up. Some people say you gotta get the Earl out of it, which there's not that much, because I used that 93.7. Sounds like a radio station. Nothing. And you can use, of course you could use turkey, chicken. You use that Boca burger. It's like a fake hamburger, but it's good for you. They've got the patties, and now they've come out with the loose kind that you can use. There was a line there, but I ain't going for it. But anyway, okay. So now I think, if I'm not wrong, we're gonna add a little bit of soy sauce and brown sugar And we're at our mushrooms, which I get the sliced in the little jars. I guess you could do the fresh. I don't ever mess with those. And a can of cream of chicken soup. And get all that going and nice and hot. Cream of celery soup is good to cook with. You ever use that one? Not my favorite to eat, but as far as a filler, pretty good. Hello? People are beating the door down to get this recipe. Mark, I thought you were going to screen people before they got in here. All right, we're heating up there. Let me get that one off. We have one of these stoves at work and it's aggravating. Ours is beepy, so if you hear something beeping in the background, it's because something went wrong with the stove. All right, water chestnuts. You ever use them? Not a lot of flavor, but nice crunch. Especially if you mix them with something else. They're found in the international aisle, I believe they call it. Anybody got any suggestions or alternates that we could use in our suggestive recipe? Are you going to behave? I thought you were going back to work. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you hung around. She gives me a hard time all the time when I'm in the deli. Scissors. And here's our rice, already done, just 4 minutes. Careful because it's hot. See, I don't mind onions and something like this if you cook them down, but if they're raw, no thank you. Is that hard enough for you? That's about it. Now, let's see, I'll dump it in this just to make it easier to get out. And as far as a new Val score on this, I don't know what the soup is, what the soup would be, but that'd be about the worst thing in it, don't you think? Because we use lean ground beef and you got your veggies in there and your brown rice instead of your white rice, so it shouldn't be that bad. But you know, you can get that what is it, powdered fiber in a jar. Thank you. Stir some benefiber in there and doesn't hang around long. Now, here we go. So you got it all cleaned out, ready to roll. Yeah. So it softens it up to the point that you can just scoop a little of the pumpkin out and scoop a little bit of your good stuff out. And of course, I'd have to put more salt and pepper on it because it's just the way you do things, isn't it? And with our salad, ta-da!